let's talk about Grow Home, which is the game I just completed the main objective for. Due to the fact that the credits did indeed roll in the video game Grow Home, I think we can say that we have completed it to a pretty full degree. Not to the fullest degree, I certainly did not 100% Grow Home by any means, and there are secondary objectives that I could have decided to go for today, but I have decided to not go for today because I just don't really want to go for them today, I will acknowledge. Overall, though, having gone through the main objective of Grow Home, what do I think about this game? It's a 3D platformer adventure game from 2015. How is it held up? Did it live up to the hype that I've kind of had since 2015 when I watched a playthrough of it? And did I enjoy playing it? Overall, what are my final thoughts on Grow Home having completed the main objective? I really like it. I really like it. It's definitely a bit more frustrating than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more chill, a little bit less frustrating, I'll admit, but really fun to play. And the frustration honestly made the ending all that much more rewarding, I will acknowledge. Yeah, I really like the climbing mechanics, and I think the climbing mechanics have aged very well as we see other games today using very similar climbing mechanics. I think, personally speaking, the graphics of Grow Home have aged very well as well. They're very crisp, very clean, very good looking, and I think it's a style that a lot of video games still go for. And in my opinion, if Grow Home was released today, it wouldn't be the same game it was back in 2015. In 2015, Grow Home was a single-player game because that's what a lot of people were playing. There weren't really like short, sweet multiplayer games to play. If you wanted to play multiplayer, you were playing Call of Duty or Counter-Strike or something like that with friends. You weren't playing like a short game that all your friends bought and played a couple times and then that was that kind of thing. But that's very much a subcategory of games today. Friend slop is very much a subcategory of games today. And so as such, I definitely do think that if Grow Home was released today, it would totally be a short multiplayer game that is considered to be friend slop kind of thing. But it's not because it's single player. But it's kind of like a friend slop-esque game, but with no friends because it's single player only, and that's kind of what Grow Home is like. I kind of feel like, at least. Really good game, though. I love how well it's aged. I like the mechanics of it. There's definitely some frustration, specifically controlling the flower stems, trying to get to new islands. Definitely can be a bit like, dang, where's it trying to go? And definitely like having to hold down when climbing, just like you cannot let go of the controller at all. Definitely, the controls, they're a bit awkward at times, but overall, a very solid game that I really enjoyed playing for the very first time today. Is it a game that I would replay? Probably at some point eventually. I wouldn't mind replaying Grow Home, but I think it would be something that I'd want to do like with friends kind of thing. Like not like with multiple friends playing the game per se at the same time, but like where I'm like talking to people I know while I'm replaying it, or somebody else is replaying the game and I'm watching them do it or something like that kind of thing. And then we take turns playing or something like that kind of thing. That would be how I would want to play Grow Home personally. I think if they wanted to do any sort of major update to Grow Home to make it a sales phenomenon like 10 years after it first released, I think what they should do is just add multiplayer. If they added multiplayer to Grow Home, it would compete with the likes of Peak and The Long Walk, in my personal opinion. I think if they added multiplayer to this game, it would just straight up be right into the friend slop sort of genre of gaming. And I think that's kind of a crazy thing to say about a game that predates that genre and is single player only. Yeah, no, really good game. I think it's aged very well. I think if it was released today, it would be perceived very differently. And I think it's just a really good, chill, yet at the same time kind of frustrating game to play as a whole. Grow Home, in my opinion, is it a solid game? Yeah, I'm going to have to say Grow Home is a pretty dang good game. I am going to have to say it is. I think Grow Home, it deserves the hype that I have been having build up for the last 10 years since watching a playthrough of it. What rating would I give Grow Home? I'd give it 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, I think. I think a 7 out of 10 is deserving. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Really, the main reason why I give it a 7 out of 10 is just because the controls made my hands sweaty. I couldn't let go of the controller for minutes on end. But realistically, if I was just better at using a controller and I knew the controls better, I think it would be an 8 out of 10. So overall, I'm going to give Grow Home like a solid 8 out of 10. And I think it's a classic. I think Grow Home is something that is, I think it's something that people could call an underrated classic kind of thing. I think Grow Home could be considered a classic of some degree. And I think it's a very good game, and I think it deserves a very solid 8 out of 10. 7 to 8 out of 10. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10 total. Combined rating, 7.5 out of 10. I think is deserving for it. And that's kind of my personal take as to what Grow Home is, in my personal opinion, kind of thing. And that's my rating as to what I'm buzzed. That's my rating for Grow Home, is what I'm basically trying to say. Overall, though, good game. Really enjoyed it. And I'm very, very, very glad to have finally played through Grow Home after 10 years of needing to do so, frankly put. So absolutely no complaints on my behalf.